Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Indycar on a Monday morning. My name's Gordon Ross, and today I just wanted to mention to you that tonight is the night when a new Indy event is being staged at the Wynd Centre in Paisley. Now, this is an evening with Dr Mark Mcnaught, who is the assistant professor of law and political science at the University of Rennes in France, and he is the guest this evening at the Women for Indy Paisley branch, where he's going to be discussing the actual process of becoming an independent country from the point of view of both the legality of it, so the law that governs such things, how we proceed from where we are now as a part of the United Kingdom to a fully independent state, and all the steps and procedures that will take us to that point at the end of the process. So Mark is a great man for detail, and I know that he has already written the blueprint for the Scottish Constitution as not exactly a favour to the independence campaign, but to give us something to work with. There are other groups working on similar projects, but Dr Mcnaught is an acknowledged expert in this field as well, and because he's doing this off his own bat, and he's been travelling around Europe, alternating between Catalonia and Scotland, and basically offering his time for free to help both campaigns, I think it's well worth coming along this evening to listen to what he has to say. I'll be there this evening myself with Paul Kavanagh, better known as the Wee Ginger Dog, writer extraordinaire for The National, but we'll be there to support Mark while he gives this presentation on how the process of independence will actually happen. So I think it's going to be a fascinating evening. I'd urge you to come along this evening. If you haven't already done so, go to the Paisley Women for Indy website and register for a ticket. If not, just turn up on the evening. At the moment, I believe there's still a few seats available, so please come along this evening. Now, the second thing I wanted to say this morning really is that in light of the fact that we always seem to be waiting for other people to do things before we can actually vote for independence, a number of issues have come up in the news this morning concerning that, and people have expressed concerns about, even if we get a Section 30 order from the British government, they will obviously try to impose the British Electoral Commission upon us again, who trampled over every single rule that normally governs referendums and elections, including Purdah. All of these rules were broken, and the Electoral Commission allowed it to happen during the first referendum. We need to actually own this next vote. So whichever form it takes, whether it is an election where we are on a one-issue election, in other words, we're voting for parties which promise independence, or whether we are actually having our own plebiscite, our own type of referendum without the Section 30 order, we must make sure that our vote is organised and arranged and overseen by our own country, not by somebody else, and not certainly by the British Electoral Commission, which let us all down so badly last time and allowed so much cheating to happen and so many rules to be broken without any recourse whatsoever in law for us. So it's important, I think, that we campaign not only for another vote, but we campaign for another vote which Scotland as a country will organise itself, and will organise both fairly and under the watchful eye of, say, the UN, or even the EU, or another body which does not have an actual stake in the result, because having arbiters of a referendum who are actually under the control of the government that you're trying to break away from is not a good idea. We found this out the hard way the last time. So I'm hoping that we will own the next referendum or the next election, whichever happens, that we will be the ones who organise it. And this is why I think many of us are now sceptical about whether the Section 30 order is the way we should go, because the last time this happened, basically the Tories and the British government organised the entire thing. And they organised it in such a way that allowed them to cheat as much as possible, to bend the rules, to break the rules, without any regard and without any consequences at all for themselves. So I think it's time for us to say, right, enough is enough of the Electoral Commission from the UK. We will set up our own electoral board. We will have it overseen by foreign observers. It will be free and fair, and the result, for us at least, will be decisive, because we need to be sure that whatever the result of a referendum is, and I'm hoping it's going to be a huge yes, that it's done right this time. Purdah rules don't get broken, promises aren't made at the last moment that are illegal under the rules, and that we can get a fair result this time, and that there will be no attempt at scaring or intimidating the population, telling them that their pensions will be wiped out, or telling them that they'll be deported, or that their jobs will be lost, or anything like that. We're going to campaign on the basis of, this is what independence promises, this is what will be delivered, and this is the mechanism that we will use to become independent. This is the currency that we plan to use eventually. This is the method that we will use to get to that currency. All of these things will be laid out, but there will be no... We won't allow the cheating to go on this time. We will not allow busloads of English Labour activists to come up here and scare people this time. All of these things we have to jump on. We have to have a fair voting system. We have to have the counts done at the site of the polling station, so that there can be no disappearing boxes of votes, so that there can be no more polythene bagfuls of yes votes found days after the events lying in the streets of Glasgow or other cities. This has to be done right, and it has to be done fairly, whether or not we have a Section 30 order. It's very important that we organise this correctly, fairly, and that it's completely transparent, both for the no voters as well as ourselves. They have to have confidence in the result as well. If we're all going to live by the result afterwards, we need to be sure it was arrived at fairly this time, not what was done the last time. So that's my message really for today. I'm heading off to work to do a driving test this morning. I won't be back on air for a little while because I'm waiting for the data to catch up. But I would like to tell you that it's come to my attention, somebody very kindly passed to me information on the new independence funding system, where we can apply for funding for big projects in the Yes movement. This is not the SNP, this is the Yes movement. Funding is being made available to us, to all of us, not just to me or Indycar, but to everybody, and we can apply for it if we have a good project which will either help to educate the public or to convert new yes voters, anything like that. So I'm looking at putting forward a bid at the moment. I have a wee idea just now, but I need to talk to a number of influential people first before I put this idea to them. But if it comes off, Indycar will not be going away, but something else might happen in addition to that. And I can't really talk about it just now because it's not really firmed up yet. But I have a plan in my mind to do something new if the funding can be arranged through this new funding system. So hopefully, if this goes ahead and I'm successful in getting the funds, I'll be able to announce something new, and hopefully something which you lot have all been waiting for and asking for a very, very long time. I'll see you all later. Bye for now.